What age did you start and want to be a rapper?
Rappers start writing poems. Well, we had to write a poem in middle school. Like, dang, I'm pretty good at this.
How did you start out just selling movies to an empire, making $5,000 to $10,000 a week?
It started out that way, but it eventually elevated.
After 3 times, what lesson did you learn from it?
I'd rather have 100,000 clean than 1,000,000 dirty.
How did you build a successful fragrance business, and what was the biggest challenge you faced along the way?
Biggest thing is being a legit fragrance dealer. This is an expensive business, so most people selling fragrances are not selling real fragrances.
Come on, salute my grand. I'm standing on principle. I'm standing on business. That check on the way, and I'ma go get it.
Welcome to Salute My Creed, a platform where you can speak on your religion, your belief, your principle that you stand on that bring you everyday success. Today we have a special guest, someone many of us know as Hustleman. We are going to dive into his journey, the highs, the lows, and the lessons that he learned on the way. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, my brother.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Man, I appreciate you for coming on the platform,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, man. You the homie, man. You know I gotta pull up.
Yeah, man, I definitely
For sure.
appreciate it. I know how busy you are on a regular
Yeah,
basis,
man.
but man, you made time to come on here, so I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, we're gonna dive into this thing. The first question I got for you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, and what it was like being the only child?
Man, I was born in Valdosta, Georgia, man, and born and raised here. My pops was a truck driver. My mama was a nurse. So I had a 2-parent household, you know. So, but you know, my pops was a little strict. Mom's maybe not as much. You know, I was the baby boy. I was the only child, as you said. That's a little, you know, I was a little spoiled. I had all the toys and all that stuff, but some of the hard times you had to go through by yourself. You don't have no older brother to talk to, an older sister or whatever. You have to deal with whatever you got to deal with by yourself. So that's the little challenge to being the only child people don't really recognize. Yeah.
Also make a difference when not just the only child, but when it's a big age difference. You know,
For sure.
when it's a gap. If you got
For
someone,
sure.
you got a 7-8 year age difference. You know, your older brother ain't really trying to deal with you like that, especially when he's trying to get.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
So how did the environment growing up shape you to want to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I seen a lot of ups and downs with my parents coming up, and those lows, I never wanted to have those lows in my adulthood, so I knew I had to grind and hustle so I wouldn't have those lows. I didn't want to depend on a job or depend on somebody to help me, so even though I'm working, I always had some kind of hustle going on, and my parents, they would buy me Transformers and He-Mans, but if I wanted Ninja Turtles, I better make a way, so I sold my He-Man to get Ninja Turtles, because they wasn't just going to keep buying me toys. They thought they was done with the He-Man. But nah, I get out there and set up and do a yard sale for my Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to figure that thing out.
For sure.
Make it happen.
For sure. I don't like nose.
Yeah, right. Who do? Yeah, nobody
yeah,
don't like them.
straight
nose.
up.
What age did you start and want to be a rapper?
Really, it started when I was about 12 years old in middle school. The cliche, rappers start writing poems. Well, we had to write a poem in middle school. I'm like, dang, I'm pretty good at this. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, writing poems turned into rapping. And, you know, Snoop came out in like 93. When Snoop came out, like, I kind of want to do this. So, yeah.
So who was your favorite rapper?
My favorite, most people know I was crazy about Master P, but that came in later, more so for the entrepreneurship side of it. But the music, of course, no limit. You dropping albums every week. But for as just, you know, Tupac, my favorite rapper of all times. But for as, you know, in school, I dressed like Master P for career days. So it definitely, that definitely was my guy back then. I liked everything about that guy, man, for real.
All right, so getting into the music world, rapping, how did you start your group Roll With It Records?
Yeah, Roll With It Records, man. Me and my homeboy DeVille, we came up with an idea to start a record label with some of the guys we went to school with, and bought the equipment, brought them in. We put together some dope songs. It got to the point where I really wasn't even rapping. I was more doing the CEO. I might drop a song here and there, but for the most part, I was on my CEO thing, and that really taught me a lot about the industry and a lot about how to record and the process and dealing with artists.
Right.
That was the biggest thing. Very, very crazy lesson I learned with them guys.
Different
for sure.
personalities.
Oh man, it was crazy. For sure.
Okay. When you was rapping, what was your rapper name back then?
My first rapper name was Hurricane, and then not like Hurricane. I didn't put my name in. It was just straight Hurricane, and but later I became Nonsense. Nonsense with a C, like CENTS, like
Right.
I'm crazy and I'm broke. So I put them together, Nonsense.
Right.
Later on, the Hustleman became the stage name, but yeah, early on it was, I don't know what I was thinking.
So who ideal was it to put the logos on the car? Because I remember back in the day, man, we used to see y'all riding in groups with Roll With It records on the side of the cars.
Man, now they say that's country, but back then, man, that made us famous.
Yeah.
But I mean, we wasn't gonna be on TV, so that was like one of the best marketing strategies ever. We pull up to Mr. Andy's with all that on the side of the car, and everybody roll with it in the house.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was dope. We had our music playing in the car, so we really was trying to represent for the label, man. We was going hard, and it worked. Straight up.
Okay. So from that to how did you get into selling movies?
Man, now that we gonna make a long story short.
Okay.
I had a daughter, and I was put on child support 5 months after my daughter was born, and I was working a job, but I wasn't making enough to pay child support and still have extra money. I wanted extra money, so hey, I was making mixtape. This back in the LimeWire, those days. So I'm making mixtapes and stuff just to play in the car. And this back in the dial-up era.
Oh, man,
So yeah, it's taking 15, 20 minutes per song to do. So you can only imagine how long it would take a movie. But back then, we'd go to Atlanta and get the movies from like the flea markets and stuff. And that, bring them back down, copy them. And that's how I made a little extra change to make up for child support. Who knew I was going to turn it into an empire? This was just to make up for my child support money, but later on it blew up.
Okay. So what's some of the challenges you face it when you was selling movies?
Well, spending my whole life in a room burning DVDs and CDs all day long.
Get overwhelming.
It was overwhelming, man, but because I'm supplying, nobody had duplicators like that. So most of the people came and just bought wholesale. So when they came through, one person might get hundreds of DVDs at one time. And, the burners wasn't as fast as they are now. Well, I don't know if they even exist now.
Right.
But back then, the first ones were kind of slow, but I was the only one burning 10 DVDs at a time. So I had to keep it going, man. And that was the biggest challenge, how to work a job, have a life, and burn thousands of DVDs a day. So
And dealing with a lot of people.
yeah, a lot of people, for sure.
Different. That's a lot.
And getting all your money that you supposed to get. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So how did you turn starting out just selling movies to an empire making $5,000 to $10,000 a week?
Man, listen, it didn't start out that way, but it eventually elevated to that level. I worked at Lowe's, at the Lowe's Distribution Center, and I was on some pop the trunk after work. Hey, y'all, come get these DVDs, come get these CDs, 3 for $10, whatever. And one person told another person, and another person told another person. Next thing you know, I got 20, 30 people at the car after work till they ran me out the parking lot. So it was a little park down the road. I would go
So
down the
parking,
road.
parking lot of your job you was
At the job, they was like, "Listen, dude, this ridiculous. It's like a block party going on out here." So yeah, I went down the road, set up shop, and it got to the point we would play cards at my house on Friday, so people would come by, of course, buy DVDs then, and it just the word spread. But I ain't gonna lie, that seed started with Lowe's, and it just grew and grew and grew until we got up to that 5, 10 bands just off DVD. Matter of fact, somebody just told me a few weeks ago, like, man, back in the day, man, I was making about 7, 8 grand a week.
Yeah.
And I'm day plug, so I'm like, dang, I might be miscounting what I was making, because if you made 7, 8 and I'm your plug, what I'm making.
Right.
But that was a gradual spin, you know what I'm saying? That took time to get to that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been very active in giving back to the community, like rewarding kids for honor roll. What inspired you to just start doing that?
Man, I always looked at it like, the kids can't help their situation. The grown people, I tried to help them, but you only can do so much for the grown people. They control their destiny.
Yeah.
But for as the kids, you don't have no control over that. So I wanted to reward them for making good grades and, staying out of trouble. I even was a substitute teacher. A lot of people don't know that, but I actually subbed for a couple years. And that kind of blossomed into something with the kids just wanting to help them grow and become, because some of them added, when you subbing, you realize, man, these kids be going through some things. Like, every household ain't that peaceful, and sometimes it's a struggle just to eat.
Yeah.
So when you see them kids struggling, you just want to reward them for doing good, because a lot of these kids, they go through some things for sure.
And by you saying that, I had a conversation with a person last week about the same thing. They was trying to say, well, if someone's struggling, just go get another job. It's not that easy at times when you got kids, and then now if you go get this part-time job, but then you got to pay more for daycare, and sometimes that part-time job might not make enough to pay for that daycare. So now you still shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly.
Yeah, it ain't easy as people try to make it seem to you been in that situation.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So how important do you think it is for entrepreneurs to give back, and what advice would you give to ones who want to do that?
I don't think you really made it until you give back.
Right.
If you're not giving back, then what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a sucker. You don't have to look at it like, it's a difference between being used and giving back. And that's why I really did for the kids. People ask me for stuff all the time, but it's really to the point where when you making money, and a lot of people came to me back then like, yo, the street dudes ain't even doing what you doing, and they out here, selling, kind of killing the community. They ain't even giving back like that. You just doing DVDs and you trying your best to uplift the community. So yeah, you not really a true entrepreneur and businessman until you can give, even if it don't have to be to a major level, but just, give something to your community, man.
Yeah, everything counts and make a
sure.
difference. Tell us about the Hustleman show, man. What was your vision for it, and how did you bring it to life?
The Hustleman show came about, I was trying to think of something to do after rap, because I always said, if I don't make it in rap by the time I'm 30, I'm done. Yeah. And my homeboy, I don't know if y'all remember Jimmy. Some people may know Jimmy Hennessy.
Oh, man, definitely Jimmy. Hey, shout out to Jimmy Hennessy, man.
Straight
a great
up.
dude.
Westside Jimmy. I just talked to him the other day, and he told me, boy, when you said you was going to quit at 30, you stuck to that. Yeah. Like, even he's dropped stuff now here and there. But I was done. So once I became like 27, 26, 27, 28, I'm like, ooh, this don't look like it's, I did some good things with the music, but I was like, yeah, I'm approaching 30. I might need to start looking into something else. But I love the entertainment business so much, and I knew so much about it. I wanted to do something. I'm like, I know about these rappers. I know about the industry. I could just try to interview these people and just ask some questions because I know about them already. So it'll be pretty easy. And I just tried it, learned how to, get media credentials for events, and just luckily, man, it seemed like everything I tried was working with it way more than the rap stuff did.
Right.
For sure.
So, with talking with you, I know like some of those places where you went to see different celebrities, like you did your pass, and some of them you got in, but some of them you had
Yeah.
to move
Yeah.
around and maneuver and get in there. So, how was that interesting to you after the fact when you think about you made it to that red carpet and did what you had to do to get there?
Yeah. Man, when you doing this, you gotta have the confidence, man. You gotta go in there. Like we had the camera, I had the microphone. It looked legit. So even if I didn't have a media pass, I'm going in the back door. I'm climbing over fences. I'm telling lies. I'm making fake media passes. Whatever I gotta do to get in. And once you get in, you gotta have that confidence. You can't be shaking and stumbling and fumbling. You gotta go in there. Hey, this the Hustleman show. Hustleman, I got an interview set up. Da 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 da. And they be like, okay, go in, cause you look the part. Here come a guy. Cause back in the day, the cameras was like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So Fresh. Fresh was my guy that did my video work. Fresh got the camera. I'm up here with the microphone with my logo on it, so I look the part. So a lot of times I slid, even at the BET Awards and stuff. My name wasn't on the list, but I slid in there because I looked the part. Like I'm up here acting mad because my name. Hey, what's going on? My name not on. Somebody dropped the ball. I need some answers. I'm up here not legit at all,
Right.
but they making it happen, man. So you just got to be determined, be confident in what you're trying to do, and it'll work. So
So, how did you feel like after so long of going on the red carpet when you go to these different events, and then some of the celebrities know who you are now when they see you? They're like, "Oh, okay, you hustle man, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be from here or there."
Yeah.
How did that feel to you?
Man, it actually felt good that I was building up my rep with these guys and like, oh yeah, man, Hustleman. If Hustleman don't know you, like one of them even said that on one of the red carpets. Hustleman don't know you, what you doing? 'Cause they seen me enough to where even though you don't really know me, people felt like these celebrities was coming to the crib, kicking it, playing cards, you know what I'm saying, with me because I was on them carpets so heavy till they were starting to know me. And it definitely was a good feeling to feel like you're being welcomed into that world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for that's a great feeling.
And that's one of them things like people from the outside looking in don't know what you're going through to
For
make
sure.
to make this happen. How
For
consistent you got to be, motivated.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to it.
So, how was it like, what I'm saying, being at this level and then you have people that you helping, like, basically, like, you might take people with you, but you got to do stuff for them, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're not being able to hold their own. Do that ever at that time, did it ever get overwhelming?
It at one point it might have got overwhelming because people think you the celebrity. So you might see me interviewing Rick Ross, and you think I'm on the level that Rick Ross on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got millions and millions of dollars like these people, but you see me with them, so a lot of people assume, oh, you got it if you with them. But no, I'm still working a job. I'm selling DVDs. I'm making good money, but I'm not, a millionaire like they think. So when people start asking you for stuff, and sometimes they ask you for stuff that you wish you could do for them, like people like my mama in the hospital, man, she had a stroke, and the hospital bills. I'm like, yo, I ain't got it. Like I ain't got save mama, hospital bill type money. But if you hungry and need something to eat, I might can help you. But I ain't got it like that. So yeah, it's a lot when tons of people are coming at you. Like, let me hold some, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, God taught me a valuable lesson. It was like people used to come, I'm helping this person, helping this person, helping this person, and you just saying yes, yes, yes. But when God take that from you, and
Oh.
now you got to say no.
Ooh.
You know, it taught me a lesson because now I'm not able to do that for you. So you got to go somewhere else to get it,
Yeah.
or now you got to do what you need to do so you can have it, so you don't be in need of it. And so when he took it from me, and then when I got back situated, then I learned that how to say no. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if I don't do it for you, you're gonna have to figure it out anyway.
For
So
sure.
I listen to a lot of Judge Mathis. So if it ain't a hardship, I pretty much
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to
I
figure
feel
that.
you.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah.
So you been so high, like, you know what I'm saying, you traveling, doing celebrities, you got this Hustleman show, but at the same time, what you doing the movies. So how did you feel when, what went through your mind when you first got caught with doing the movies? You know what I mean? Which, well, let me hear it from you
Yeah.
first.
Man, listen, I never expected the police to be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my guard for the street dudes that's like, yeah, he got money over there. I was ready for them, you know. So, yeah, I wasn't even really thinking. And I know you should always think that, you know, in the back of your mind, you're like, something could go down, but I'm also thinking, is somebody gonna try to rob me one day? Cause all these people think I'm hanging with celebrities and I'm rich and you know, and I'm still in the hood. I'm actually saving a ton of money, but I own the house.
Yeah.
So who gonna leave a house with no rent, no, you know? So I'm just stacking. So I'm more prepared for that. So who would have thought that one day the police would come kicking my door down over DVDs? I was making a ton of money, but who would have thought that would have happened? And when that did happen, that definitely it was an eye opener. And like you said, the first time, it was a second and a third time also. But the first time, it was like, yo, I'm chilling. But once you go to jail and you kind of get these charges and you make the front page and news and all that stuff in Valdosta, Georgia, that's gonna make it a little harder to get an honest job. So now I kind of see why the drug dealers get jammed up and go back to doing the same thing, because now you got legal bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. I don't pay this, I'm going back to jail. So I got to do something, and it might sound stupid the most, but that's how a lot of people end up doing the same thing, man. You got to get some money. You can't pull it out the air. You got to figure it out. That's what I did. Kept doing what I know.
Right. Yes. So after 3 times, what lesson did you learn from it?
The lesson I learned is I don't even like saying DVD no more. No, DVDs ain't even really that relevant, but let me tell you something. I'm in the fragrance game now, and it feel good to see 100,000 clean money than 1,000,000 dirty money. I don't care what kind of dirt it is. That's something can't nobody take from you.
Right.
And when you think about all the hours I put in with them DVDs, all the different personalities and spirits I had to deal with, and somebody just came and took all that. Everything I worked for, everything I bought, everything, cars, everything, just like I was the biggest drug dealer. That was one of the lowest feelings in the world. I'd rather have 100,000 clean than 1,000,000 dirty.
Right.
Can't nobody take it from you. That's a great feeling.
Man, that's a mouthful said right
For
there.
sure.
So through this process, when everything was said and done, you had to face banishment.
Yeah.
So how did this affect you personally?
It definitely changed because, I mean, you would think killers or murderers would be somebody you would banish. I'm the DVD man, you know. And I have to take accountability. I was doing something wrong. I got jammed up. Whether I think it was extreme or whatever, I still have to take accountability. I did something wrong, and I got punished for it. It was a little extreme to me, but they pretty much gave me the option: go to trial, face 10 years, or take this banishment, do 5-year probation, 5 years banishment. You can't go to the whole Southern District, Lowndes County, Lanier, Brooks, none of that. So I couldn't go stay with my cousin them either, because you done banished me from the whole Southern District, not just my city. So we see what just happened to Young Thug, and they only give you 24 hours. So You get out of jail, your life already turned upside down. Now you got to figure out how to get out the city in 24 hours and figure out somewhere to live. And luckily, Jimmy Hennessy, who we were just talking about, let me, crash on his couch until I could get a job and figure out what I was doing. Gotcha. Yeah, so I had to move to Atlanta. So it ain't like I was I wanted to move to Atlanta. I always talked about it, but who knew I would be forced to go to Atlanta? But it turned out to be one of the best things to ever happen.
Gotcha. So what motivated you to transition to the fragrance world?
I always had a love for fragrances. I always had 20, 30 bottles or whatever. Back then, it might have been Polo and Curve and all that. It wasn't Bud number 9 at that time. But one day I was, around where my supplier was at, and I just happened to see this shop. And I looked in the window, I'm like, nah, this probably ain't even legit. And I kept it pushing, but I ended up in that area again. I'm like, let me just go in here and see. And I walked in, and being a fragrance guy, it was like, oh, this is legit. So I had already had my business license. So, they gave me the information, got what they needed from me, and I think I bought 2 or 3 bottles just to test the waters, and I sold them in like 5 minutes and went back and got more and sold them in no time. I'm like, these people used to try to beat me on the DVDs, and they didn't even cost that much. So I thought they would try to beat me on the fragrances, but actually, they didn't. They give me what I asked for. I really haven't had that type of thing. So yeah, the fragrances probably one of the best businesses I ever been involved with.
So how did you build a successful fragrance business, and what was the biggest challenge you faced along the way so far?
The biggest thing is getting notarized as being a legit fragrance dealer. Because this is expensive, bro. This is an expensive business. So most people selling fragrances are not selling real fragrances. Because this, like I made a post the other day, joking but not joking, my re-up is the price of a Cullinan with a Rolls Royce truck if you don't know what a Cullinan is. That's how much my re-up is weekly. So when you at the gas station and this guy trying to sell you a $50 bottle of Baccarat, you got to think to yourself, is this bottle that usually costs $400 legit? With this guy selling it for $50? And do he look like somebody that would, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe don't judge a book, but at the same time, I mean, use your third eye or something. Like, this ain't what it is. So I had to really build my rep up, get my website up, and with the Hustleman name, that might make people look at you sideways.
Squinch a little bit.
But now, like, they know, hey, get yourself from Hustleman, he legit. So that was the biggest challenge for sure.
And presentation, everything. Cause you say, the guy out there, he just in the street selling this. Yeah. Just because the way he presented it, you looking like, dang, but you got somebody that presented it professionally,
right?
And you'll do business with
straight up.
So how do you stay connected with the celebrity artists and use those relationships to help grow your business with the fragrance?
At this point, man, I reached out to a few that have done little drops for me, and to be honest, the celebrities that you think of, the rappers, the R&B singers, they haven't really helped me much in this. I mean, not from lack of trying, but it haven't benefited me. It's the new kids, the influencers, the content creators. Like, I'm cool with a lot of the people that cook food on the internet and all that. The people you wouldn't think, because I had Trina, I done reached out to 2 Chain, people like that. Nothing really came out of that. But the people that cook on the internet, their people really fool with them. Like, they really mess with them to the point where they go to their page every day to see what they cooking.
Right, more personable.
When the last time you went to 2 Chain page just to see what he was doing?
Man, I don't even know what the page looked like.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my guy. But ain't nobody just invested in seeing what you're doing every day. But these people that cook, people want to know how to cook. They enjoy watching you cook. They see how good the food look, and those are the people that get fragrances. Actually, pay me for my fragrances and still post it. And I got thousands of followers. I've got thousands of customers just off of them posting. So those are the type of people I would suggest you look at. Don't just chase the rappers and all that, because they might have a following, but they're not really interacting with their following. These people that cook, I'm just using cooking. It could be makeup, it could be whatever. These people really fool with these people. That's who you need to mess with for sure.
God. Looking back at everything you've been through, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of not giving up, being resilient, man. Like, so many people came up to me like, bro, I don't even know how you did it, man. You brush your shoulder off and keep it pushing. I'm like, boy, I might have made it look easy to you, but boy, it was some days I was like, I don't know if I even want to be here. So just being able to get past, like I always say, I don't really pray for God to move the mountain. I just pray for the strength to get over it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it now.
So, what advice would you give someone that want to start a legit business?
Do your research and make sure this is something you really want to do. It got to be something you really care about. If it's just a hustle to you, don't even bother. It got to be something that means something to you, where when you face those trials and tribulations, you ain't going to give up as easy because you're really passionate about what you're doing. A lot of people ask me how to get into the fragrance game and try to get on. I tell them, listen, bro, if I didn't love this, I would have been tapped out. These folks ask me a million questions, and since I love fragrances, I love talking about it. But if you don't love fragrances, you be like, man, just spray it. And if it smell good, buy it. If it don't. But it's a lot more to that than just that. So, yeah, just get into something you really care about.
Right, most definitely. Where do you see yourself in your business in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I want to be the distro.
That's big, yeah.
I want to be the distro, man. I don't know if y'all, hopefully the people tuning in watch Power. I think everybody watch Power.
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like I'm Ghost with the fragrances. Like, even when I go to my supplier, they kind of like, brother, come on in, because I'm one of the top dogs, especially for black fragrance dealers. There's really not too many black fragrance legit retailers out here. So I'm like at the top of the game, but I want to be Lobos. I want to be the distro. I want to be the guy supplying the stores and supplying, like, I'll still, do a little retail for my people that I really deal with, but I want to be the one that supply the stores and, get them M's, just, passive income.
Right.
I never had the passive income. I always been so hands-on every day, all day. I want to just sit back and just supply everybody else. Y'all go sell it. That's the ultimate goal.
Man, I got to build them teams. And
For sure.
And once you put those people in place, take care of them the right way so they'll take
For
care
sure.
of you. And that's what I'm working on now.
Yeah.
It's big. A lot of people don't know. Like, man, getting a team together, but take care of them folks and folks take care of you.
For sure.
What keeps you motivated to keep evolving?
Man, I tell you what do motivate me is seeing people from my hometown with the same struggles, same small town. They might have been to jail, they might have grew up poor, whatever. I have seen some folk become millionaires from Valdosta, and it went from running a football every time. Now, we know that football gonna take you, but everybody don't have, that's like 1%, probably less than 1%. But I've seen people really grind, really hustle, and whatever their industry is, they became successful in it. That's motivation to me, seeing people that might have been my supervisor at Lowe's and became rich. Somebody that might have been selling beats just to keep their phone on, end up becoming one of the biggest producers you can possibly think of. So that's the type of stuff that's motivation, and I've been hands-on and involved with a lot of these people. So it kind of killed all the excuses.
Right.
So now it's like, if you don't make it, it's on you because these people made it.
Got one more question for you. I'm gonna let you get out of here. If you could go back in time and talk to your young self, what would you say?
Whew. Never speak to your baby mama. You see it though. Man, listen. No, man. I would probably tell my younger self, even though I learned some things, don't try to be a rapper, bro. Do something different. Do something different. Even though I enjoyed it, I had a great time and made memories, it also took me down a path that brought a lot of pain and hurt. And it was deeper than just the music, but the music led to other things that led to other things. And if I had to do it again, even all the great times and fun I had, watching your mama cry hurt way more. Everything I did wasn't worth those tears from my mama. Right. So whatever I would have to sacrifice not to see those tears, and baby mama probably calls too. But now we cool now. That's the past. But yeah, it would definitely be that. So yeah, I would tap out on the music thing.
I got you, man. One thing I want to say, man, I just want to appreciate you for coming back on the show.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say, man, like I said before, man, I have a great relationship with you, but man, you're definitely a genuine person, honest, self-driven. And every time I come around you and your mother, she always got some gems to drop on me. And man, you sit back and laugh because you know it's coming. So man, I just appreciate you over the years, man, just being who you are.
No doubt.
And a lot of people talk great things about you. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, and they would say, yeah, one thing about hustle, what he say, man, you can put your dollar on it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So man, I appreciate you.
Your word is everything, my brother.
Yes, sir. So man, if I can get you to salute to the Creed fans and get you out of here, man, I definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, salute.
Salute.
Come on. Salute. My grand, I'm standing on principle. I'm standing on business. That check on the way and I'ma go get it. Respect is the only way.